so that we can have it for playback later, make our lives easier. Okay, perfect. So when you open the opportunities section,
you're gonna record it, right?
Pardon?
Are you recording it?
I am, yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So when you're in the opportunities section, what I want you guys to realize is that what we've been learning from going paperless is purely from the perspective of once you have a deal closed or you have an active listing and uploading the paperwork to the office. So the opportunity section is actually a lot more than that. This is your pipeline. So you know how in our Google Drive we have the pipeline sheet that I've made that gives you all of the information and outlines. You can put in your client's contact and that sort of stuff. This is the same idea, except that you can move them along the process. So when you guys, and I know we're not lead generating at the same level currently, but when you guys are getting leads of any sort, when you first get them, part of your system should be adding them into command and setting them up onto a follow-up system. And that's what this is for. So if you'll see, obviously we have listings, we have buyers, we have leases, because there's 3 different types of contracts. And then over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see it says potential income, probable income in each section. And then at the bottom, it's going to show you the different ratios. Where's your business coming from? Is it listings? Is it buyers? Is it leases? And this graph shows you when throughout the year it's happening. So it's going to show you the ebbs and flows of your business. And then at the very bottom, it's going to show you any upcoming closings that you have. So the more detail and data you put in here, the better. And it also helps you manage your business at a higher level, because you can come in here every day and look at your pipeline and look at who do I need to call, what do I need to do, who do I need to follow up with, and then also set up tasks and reminders for yourself of the things you need to do. So you do all of that within opportunities, okay? So when you do talk to somebody and they say, yeah, you can keep in touch with me, you know, they're not necessarily an opportunity. They're just a lead that's going to go into your contact section. But when someone says to you, yeah, keep in touch with me, and I'm thinking about doing something in 3 months or 6 months, or even up to a year, if you want it to be up to a year, this is when you would put them into your opportunity section. And you're going to want to put them in at the very beginning, which is the cultivate, because this is the section where we're basically tracking your leads. And you're going to notice that up here it's cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and close, because those are the different steps. But you can also move them along your process. So if let's say I create an opportunity because I talk to a person and they say, yeah, I'm thinking about listing my home in the next 6 months. And I have them added in as a client already, because as we know now, you have to have them in as a client before you can do anything else. And I'm just going to say that it's, you know, listing and the address, okay? I might not know any other information than that at this point. I might put in some custom tags. I might say listing, I might say seller, I might say farm area if I want to, just so I can track where it came from. I might say it's a referral potentially. And then I'm going to hit create to create that tag. Now, estimated close date, I have no idea what that is at this point. I don't have an estimated close date because they're just a lead, right? But I could guess and say, okay, well, if he wants to list his house in 3 months, that takes me to June. And then let's say I have a 90-day closing just because of what's going on right now. Then, and I list it in June. Let's say I sell it mid-June. So then that takes me July, August. So I'm going to guess that my closing is going to be in September, right? That's all that means. You're just guessing because you want to track your potential cash flow for the year. And then estimated list price, I don't know, maybe it's 850,000, and I'm going to take 23%. That'd be amazing. 2.5% of that listing side. And then opportunity phase, this means whereabouts are they in the process. I'm going to say that I'm cultivating them right now. I haven't booked an appointment, so they're not an appointment, and I haven't gone on a listing with them or listed their house, so they're not active. So I'm still cultivating this opportunity. And then I'm going to say I want to nurture it. Okay, I'm not watching it, because if he wants to do something in 3 months, I need to be following up. I need to be nurturing that. And then I'm going to hit create. So that opportunity is now going to show up in my system. And if I go back to my pipeline And now see how there's a 1 here? Now that list is existing under cultivate. So I can click on here and I can see that I have this opportunity under nurture. So what I'm going to do now is set up my task, and this is my potential commission that I'm going to make on it, and this is when I'm probably going to make that money. So it's going to show me that information. And now this down here in the bottom right is my checklist of tasks of things I need to do. So say that I want to add an item because I know that I need to call Dylan and follow up in a month because that's how we left it. Now I'm going to put that there and I'm going to set a due date and say, okay, well, if it's a month from today, that's the end of April. So I'm going to call him on April 27th and I'm going to save that. And then that's going to start to show up in my activities. So I can continually add new activities. And what'll happen with those activities as I add them in, maybe I'm going to say complete CMA for property or complete neighborhood market analysis. And I'm going to set a due date of that for, I don't know, probably a couple of days before I call them. So I'm going to say, okay, I need to get that done on that date. And then that's going to show up. And now I'm going to show that I have activities that I need to complete. And what's going to happen is when I log back into my home page going forward, on the dates that those things are due, they're going to show up. Sorry, the internet is obviously slow, but they're going to show up under my task list. So it's going to show me that I need to complete the market analysis by the April 27th. And it's going to show me on the date on April 20, whatever date we picked, that I have to call that person that day. So the more active you are, the more you're updating this and utilizing it, the more detailed it's going to be. When you start logging in every day, it's going to start telling you who you have to call, what actions you have to complete, what activities you have to do. And that's going to help you keep on track to make sure that you're not letting people fall through the cracks with your leads. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody so far?
Yeah.
You guys, you can nod as well for those of you that I can see if you
Yes.
want. If not, just say yes or ask questions if you have them. So what
Yes.
you want to, perfect, thanks guys. What you want to start doing is every time you get a new opportunity, and it's called an opportunity because opportunities equal money, right? And it's an opportunity to make money. You want to start adding them into this pipeline. So now see over here on the right, it's showing me my potential income is $21,000. As I move this opportunity along through the process, that's going to turn from potential into probable. And you're going to start to see your money trickle down from one to the other, just like the pipeline that we use in Google Drive. So if I say that I want to move Dylan to an appointment now, because I've called him, we've followed up, we've chatted, and we're just like, yeah, we're going to get together and we're going to meet. I no longer need to keep him in Cultivate. I've got an appointment scheduled with him, or I'm about to book an appointment. I can just click on him with my left mouse, lift it up. Oh, sorry. Where did it go? Oh no. Lift it up, and then hopefully it went into appointment. I might have put it in active. Yeah, I did. Sorry. So you just lift it up and you drag it. See how I'm just dragging it? And it's giving me the option to drop it into the next category. So I'm going to drop it into appointment now because now I know that I have an appointment with him. So this is showing as capped, which I don't know why. Let's say that I have a scheduled appointment. We spoke and we're meeting next week. So now I have a scheduled appointment. Once I go on that appointment and I've completed it, I'm going to transfer him over to kept. I went on the appointment. I kept the appointment. Appointment went really well, and we're going to list it in another 2 or 3 weeks. But we haven't listed it yet, so I can't put it into active yet. So I'm just keeping it under kept. And what this system is doing, see these percentages, 10%, 20%? It's tracking my conversion. How many appointments did I schedule? How many appointments did I keep? And it's going to change. So it's going to start to show you your percentages. What's your actual conversion percentages? Once I go on the appointment, we have everything done, and then we say, yeah, we're going to get staging done. We're going to get the house ready, and then we're going to sign the paperwork. Once the paperwork is signed, now I'm going to go into active. So I'm just picking it up and I'm dropping them into active, right? Just like this. Although it's not working right now for some reason. What up? There we go. So once he's inactive, once the listing is inactive, now I'm in the, okay, I'm staging it and I'm getting it ready for showings, or I'm already listed. So now I'm on the showings end of things. Okay. So you can do it that way as well. And then I can move it across. Now I have an offer and I'm in negotiations. We don't have an accepted contract yet, but I'm in negotiations. Now my offer's been accepted and I'm under contract. So now I'm moving them over to under contract, okay? Pretty straightforward. When you log into this section here under contract, people get confused because it shows escrow and inspections and appraisal and then financing. These are all the different levels and clear to close, right? In Canada, we don't have escrow and we don't have like as much of this. We're not, this is all kind of what we call our conditional period. So what you can do is go up here where it says edit stages, and you can just click on that. And you can actually just delete these stages if you want to. I want to delete this stage. I want to delete inspections. I want to delete financing. And what I'm going to do is just rename the other ones that I have by editing them. And I'm going to say conditional period, right? And then the second one, clear to close, or firm to close if we want to use our lingo, which I prefer. And I'm just going to save those. So now I could also add extra stages if I needed to, if you had like a due diligence stage or something, but you don't need to. Now I'm going to go back to my listing. So I'm just going to click up here on this link. And now you can see I only have the 2 columns here. So right now I know that we're conditional. And I could add in extra tasks and say, book home inspector, do this, do that, whatever that looks like. And then once the deal goes firm, I just move them over to firm, right? And then he just stays here until he goes firm, and then he moves to close. And if I go back out now to the main page, you're going to see that my cash flow, my probable cash flow, is now showing up as $19,000. It's only showing up as $19,000 because that's what this number here is for, 90%. So right now it's saying it's got a 90% chance of closing. So I have 90% chance of making this money. When it's 100% because it's closed, I'll make the total amount. So as you move through the process, that money will go down, and they treat it like you're going to make more and more and more as you potentially get closer to closing. Okay?
Jen?
Yeah.
Sorry. So if something happens along the way and they decide they want to take it off the market, they decide they don't want to, keep it on the market anymore, do you just kind of keep them there, or do you put them somewhere else?
So
Like
I would probably open up, depending on the situation, like if they're going to relist or something, what I would do would be kind of potentially just keep them there for now and then move them back to either appointment or something like that. Or alternatively, if you know that they've decided not to sell, or their sister just got her license, so now they're not using us, you can just open up their actual, so sorry, what I did was I clicked, hang on one sec. I clicked on the title, on the actual opportunity, and then see where it says lost opportunity in the top right. I can just select that and save it, and it'll remove the opportunity from my system.
Okay.
It'll show that it's no longer an active opportunity. So that's the other option that you can do.
Okay.
And then when I go back now to my pipeline, it's seeing now it's only showing 1 under contract, and if I go back in, that's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could just do it that way, and then you could then reactivate the opportunity later if you want to, or just create a new opportunity if it comes back to you down the road.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then the last section is to just flip to closed once the deal is closed, and that'll track your commissions and your incomes and all that sort of stuff. What you can also do when you're in, your opportunity, is when you open it, see where it says offers here. If you're getting offers on the property, you can track all of your offer information here. So maybe you want to say I have 3 offers and they're all coming in on the property. I can go add new offer, and then I can say offer 1, offer 2, offer 3, or initial offer, and create an offer. And I can track the details. Who's the offer from? What's the closing date? Who are the parties involved? What are the terms? And that way it keeps a history and a log of any offers that came in on the property as well. You don't need to do that by any means. That's just an option that's there for you, okay? But that's basically the whole point of opportunities. So the paperless part of it and uploading our documents is one small aspect of what opportunities itself actually does. But what I want you guys to realize is as we use command more and more, your whole business can exist in front of you on this page, right? And your checklist can exist to allow you to make sure that you're having a systematic follow-up system and you're not forgetting people and you're not forgetting to make those phone calls, because the system's going to remind you to do it. And that's what we talked about, the tasks at the beginning, that's what that's for. So does anyone have questions about that? No? Everyone good? It's pretty straightforward. The biggest challenge is getting into the habit and doing it regularly, right? So now if you come down here, you see that my stuff has changed, right? It's showing my trajectory of my income because I added in an opportunity, and also my potential and my probable income as well. So that's really what I wanted to show you about opportunities, because I think if you can start to use this at a high level, you'll get such better control of your business and of your leads, and your follow-up systems can become a lot more efficient and a lot more leveraged as well, because you can run the different campaigns with them and you can create task lists that are going to remind you of all those little touches you want to do that we don't do consistently because we don't have it in front of us anywhere, right? Cool. Any other questions about opportunities? Okay, so let's move on. We're going to go to the design center as the next section, because there's a ton of stuff in here and I want you guys to make sure you realize what you can do and what exists in the design center. So if we come down on the left-hand side to where it says designs and we click on that, this is going to take us into the main design template section. And you're going to notice across the top, it's going to say email, landing page, social media, print, agent site, and video. These are all different types of designs that we can create within this system. So what we want to do is go, okay, let's say that I want to create a social media post for my Facebook page, hypothetically. I can click on social right here, and then I can say down the button, so this is a template that I was already playing around with. So any templates you've made, they'll show up within the command system. I want to make something new, so I'm going to click on the big plus sign, and then I'm going to say next. Now, I want you to keep in mind, if you have a listing and it's on MLS, you can click this box here and it imports photos and text from a listing. You're just going to input the MLS number when you get to the next section. I don't have a listing, that's not what I'm promoting, so I'm not going to do that right now. However, if you did have one, you could do that, and it would import the photos and the details, so you don't have to re-upload all of that stuff, okay? And then I'm going to hit next. And this is going to take me through to connect, which is where they have everything stored. And I apologize because this part is a bit slow, just because with everyone being home, the internet is slow, so it takes a minute to load. So just hold tight until it boots up. Okay, so once you come into it, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to have templates and we're going to have my designs. My designs is anything that I've started working on. And please keep in mind, you can also upload your own PDFs into this system and then edit them from here. So you can upload a file of something you already have created and just edit it within this system. You don't have to use their templates. These are examples of templates that I've made or I was playing with. So what I'm going to go back and do is select templates, because I want you guys to see what's here. So these first ones are marketing the KW app. So once the consumer app rolls out at a high level and you want to start promoting for people to get onto your app, you could use a lot of these images as social media posts and stuff like that. These are all made for Instagram, so you can see here at the top what they're for. And you can just edit them, put your branding and stuff on it, and then you can post it, okay? We're not gonna do that right now, but let's take a look at listings. So here's all of your options for listings. For sale, if I wanna promote a for sale property, just listed, price update, neighborhood snaps, open house, under contract, just sold, local expert if you're working a farm area. So let's just say that we pick, let's do just listed. So you'll notice across the top here, you can select which platform you want to make the marketing piece for. There's Instagram stories, there's LinkedIn, and there's Twitter. I mean, LinkedIn and Twitter, I don't know if we really post stuff on that much. And then this first one is Facebook. So let's say I want to make a post for my Instagram and I want it to be just listed. And I really like this last one here. I'm just going to select use, and it's going to open up the design center for me, which is going to allow me to edit pretty much every element of the design. So again, just give it a second and it'll load up. Now, there's already some pre-built in stuff on the left-hand side, some images, company stuff, KW stock images, which are basically exactly as they sound. They're just kind of pre-made stock photos. But if you don't have your own photos or you haven't uploaded anything, you could use these. And you can also add to your own library. You can add from Facebook, Instagram, Google Drive, Dropbox, drag and drop, or you can import images. So these are all images I've imported in the past. So let's just say that I want to market this listing here. And I already have my photos uploaded. What I can do is just click on this and I can drag it right over here and I can drop it and it'll put that photo there, okay? Now, it's not necessarily going to fit exactly how I want it to, so I can click on it and see how it says reposition. I can either grab it and scale it like this so that I can make my photo fit the way I want it to fit, or I can click on reposition it and it'll allow me to kind of move it left, move it right, all that sort of stuff. And all you're going to do is just click done when you're done, and then you maybe want to play with the positioning of the photo. It takes a minute, and depending on how your photos came through, who took them, all that sort of stuff, it can be a little tricky. So you do have to kind of fiddle around with it. Unfortunately, these are super big photos that I got from a photographer, so it's very hard. But when you have better scaled photos, you can zoom in and out as well, and it fits a lot easier. Now this text here, to look at what just listed, that's fine. You can leave that, or if you'd like to edit it, you can just hold on. I can just click on the box. There we go. And see where it says this little guy right here, typewriter. If I just click on that, it opens this up and it puts just, and I say not. I don't know why I'd write that, but let's just say that. Now it's going to say not listed, right? That's as easy as changing the text. Street name, street number, same thing. Each thing is its own line. So you just click on it and then you select the typewriter and you edit the information. Okay, and then I'm going to hit save. And when I hit save, what I wrote will show up here. So it's very easy to edit that way. Other things you can do, if I click on it, I can edit the font size. I can edit the actual font itself. I can change the text color. If I don't like the color or I have a specific branding color that I like to use, I can open this and I can put in the actual color code if I have that from my designer, or I can just play around with it and say, you know what, I want like a really bright blue color. And then when I'm done, I just hit apply and it'll change it, okay? So it's pretty straightforward to change the fonts as well. But when you do click on this, it'll actually show you these are the template colors built into this template. So you don't have to go searching. You can just use these here as well. And then this KWDBA. So if you have already updated your marketing profile and put the office logo and done all of that stuff, which were classes we went through in the fall last year, then you're going to already have that in here. So under logos, where I go and it says my library, I've added all the different KW logos. So what I can do, and my one was already there because I had done it in my marketing profile, but I went back and added the other ones to give me more style options. What I could do is just click on this, drag it, drop it, hover over that box, and you'll see it'll change, and let go, and now the office logo is there. I can't really see that one, so I'm going to change it, and I'm going to do this one instead. So same thing, just drag and drop, okay? And then I could put whatever I want here, contact me for more details, or maybe I want to edit that and like list features of the property, and then put a call to action, call me to get your free virtual tour today, or whatever that looks like, okay? So that's how you edit stuff in the design center. You can add frames for pictures, you can add text boxes, you could add additional shapes if you want to. You could draw lines. You could actually write on it. You can make squares. You could put a little, oops, what did I just do? This is what I wanted. I could do something like this, although I don't know what I'm doing right now because I'm just kind of playing around. You can make, I guess, different shapes yourself, whatever it is you want to do. And then you can also just delete it all if you don't like it. Okay, so it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty straightforward to use. You just have to get used to the different mechanisms. Maybe you want to put your Instagram logo on here to remind people to follow you on Instagram. Oops, I shrunk it. Let me do that again. Now, obviously, this is too big. I need to scale it down first. But maybe I want to have Instagram here, and then I want to have Facebook here because I want people to be able to find me. I could also do this. All I have to do is make sure that my stuff is uploaded. I've imported the images. Now, I got all of these images online for free. They're just vector files that I downloaded. I went through Google, and I just searched and I found all these different looks, all these different logos. So phone, email, video, email, you know, all that sort of stuff, team photo, pictures of houses. And when you go to company, these are all stock photos. So if you were doing something that was, for example, more of a neighborhood marketing piece, you might not want a specific house, but you might want to, you know, connect with the family that are maybe going to buy that house. So when you are changing it, you have to make sure it's been selected. So maybe I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to drag and drop. That didn't work. Hold on one sec. As you can tell, it takes time.
So Jen, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So when you're downloading, that was actually one of the questions I had, how to get, like, for example, Instagram or Facebook logos to put on ads. So
Yeah.
we can just Google them and download them like to our desktop. And then when we're in Command Design Center, we can upload those images. Is that right? Or is it a specific type of file that we're looking for?
No, that's correct. So if I open up Google right now and I just type in Instagram logo, and then I want to go to images because I want to kind of see what I'm looking at here. I can go through and find a logo that I like. Ideally, what you want to try and find is a vector file, because that's usually going to be transparent and a better quality. Oh, I put login, that's why that didn't work. And then see when I write logo vector, I get all these like different options: PNG, white, free, SVG, download. So I'm going to say free because why not? And then I'm going to get all these different logos. So now what I want, I can select these different categories across the top: transparent background, gray, icon. I'm going to say transparent background because it'll start to filter them. And then maybe I'm like, I really like this logo here. So if I click on it, I'll be able to see how it's got these gray and white pixels in the background. That means that it's transparent. It's not, it doesn't have a white background or a black background. You're just going to put this logo on. So now I can basically, I can save, right click on it and save image as, and I can save it to my computer. And it's a PNG image, which means it's an actual photo, which is a good thing. So I'm just going to save it quickly to my desktop. And now if I go back into Command and I want to add a file here under logos, I could just go drag and drop here because I already have it here from where I downloaded it. Or I could go extract from my files, go to desktop, and then select Insta logo and open. And you'll see the logo will appear right here. It'll just automatically upload it. And then I can drag it and drop it and change and play with the scaling and the size of it in the editing system.
Jen,
Yeah,
does that also work with your own photo?
it does. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so you can put your own photo on these pieces.
Oh yeah.
As well. Okay.
Yeah. And if you have your marketing profile completed, if I go back into regular Command, you remember when we did the initial steps of setting up Command and we had our marketing profiles and we put in like the office logo and we put in our phone number and our email and all that information. If you already have your office logo and your photo and stuff uploaded there, when you come in here originally, you'll be able to see those as well. They'll automatically load in here for you. So you won't have to redo it. But if you haven't put them in there, then you'll have to upload them here. Okay, and then there's a bunch of other logos too. So if you go under logos, you'll see like all the standard, just traditional KW logos if you just want the KW or anything like that. And then they have other stuff too, like labs, which is like the little dogs. And I don't know why we'd use them, but they're there. All that sort of stuff, miscellaneous as well. So you can kind of upload whatever you want, like the realtor logo. You could upload the Treb logo if you wanted to, the YP logo if you wanted to. There's lots of different options with that. So oh, sorry. Oh, all right. Basically, it takes a minute because it can be a little finicky. The first time you use it, a lot of people say that they feel like it's really glitchy and finicky, but it's really not. I think it's just getting used to the flow of how it actually works. And then it kind of becomes a little bit easier. So I'm just trying to delete this.
And Jen, sorry, I have one more question while you're doing.
Yeah, please.
So do we need to be, I guess, concerned or at least cognizant about adding things in like, I don't know, that line you're supposed to have on your material, like not intended to solicit those already under contract. Like, sorry, it's my daughter.
That's okay. Yeah, when you're doing any design stuff for anything, if you're not sure, have someone approve it, have Christine look at it. But yes, you should have, our logo has to be on it. A method of contact has to be on it, a phone number of some sort. Your designation has to be on it. So it has to say your name and the fact that you're a sales representative. And then also it has to say not intended to solicit anybody not currently under contract, because if it goes to somebody that's got an exclusive or something and we don't know that, we have to protect ourselves, right? So yeah, you'd have to make sure that you're putting that stuff on there. So what you can do is kind of, if you play with the logo and move it around, if I come over here to text box on the left or text, and I can just say, I want to add some text and I just want to add a text block, a small block of text. It'll be big when I start, but I can shrink it down and I can stretch it out. And what I'm going to go is just go to my typewriter and I'm going to delete all of this Latin and just say not intended. So I had to think about that for a sec. To solicit anybody. This isn't the exact right language. I'm having a brain moment right now, but let's just call it this. I'm currently under contract. And then I'm just going to save those changes. Now that sentence is here. It's kind of smaller than it was, but I can just grab it and move it and put it down here at the bottom as much as I want to. I can make it a little bigger. I can move it and put it down here. I can put it wherever I want as long as it's visible. That's kind of the key to it. Now on social media, you don't really need to do that. But if it's a postcard or a print material that you're delivering, then you do need to do that for sure.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And you can kind of play with all this stuff as much as you want. If we go back to the templates, we're not going to save that unless anyone wants a not listed postcard. But when we go back to the templates, I'm going to show you there's just so many. So if you look here, there's, this is for, let's go back to listings. Like even just as a local expert, these are postcards. Then there's Facebook, right, which has stats and things like that. There's Instagram stories. There's door hangers here. There's flyers here, like one-page flyers. There's standard postcards. There's just sold with all of that stuff. There's under contract with all of that stuff. Neighborhood snaps is here's what's going on in your neighborhood, which is great if you're farming or working a particular pocket. Listing presentation guide. This is your actual, you can edit these and use it in your business as your actual package that you bring with you to a listing. So now if I select use on this and I open it up, you're going to see that it has just a ton of empty language right now because you have to fill it out yourself. But you're also going to notice that it's mostly images and pictures, because what Keller Williams has found out and discovered is that people respond better to imagery and stuff. People aren't going to read if it's all just text nowadays. So you can see the whole thing. So page 1, sorry, it'll take a second again with the internet. But if you guys want to revamp your buyer guides or your seller guides or get newer, more modern looking ones, this is what I would recommend doing, because A, it's pre-built. You can add your logo and do all of your stuff to it, and it's modern and it looks good, right? If I go to page 2, it's kind of just telling you how to fill it out. And you can zoom in down the bottom here. So I know right now it's really small. So let's zoom in, and they'll just say the listing presentation template is designed for you to customize, review all the written content. And then I can just down here, I can just scroll to the different pages. Or I can select them this way. I can just hit next, next, next. Or I can just scroll down on the left-hand side, okay? So you've got different ways you can kind of go through it. But let's say that this is what the first page of your listing presentation is going to look like. It's got an image of, it's for your clients. You can put a photo there. You can put a picture of their house there. It's got the office logo, and then it's got your photo and your information. And then the second page, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing. You guys can do this on your own time, but you know, it gives you an idea of what the package looks like. Okay, so you could put a couple more pictures here, your property, your guide. This is kind of like your table of contents. And then you go through again, and we can see, hey, okay, let's look at this one. What's happening in their neighborhood? This is where you would put in all your neighborhood stats. So you could come in and edit this. And what you can do, what's beautiful about this program, is you can go through and edit an entire package, put your photo everywhere, put all of your information, put all your pre-written text. If you don't know what text to write, pull up the old listing guide packages in Google Drive or on kw.com or whatever, and copy the text over. Just keep the style more like this so it's more modern. And then once you're done, what you can do is actually just download, or sorry, save the template, and I can call it Silvernagel listing package, right? And when every time now that I have a new listing, I can just open this one, go to the pages that need editing, change the photos, change the neighborhood stats, change whatever other stats or information I want to change, my comp properties or whatever, and then just print it. I don't have to come in and redo the whole package every single time, which is what people think. You just edit the template once to make it your own, save the template, and then going forward, you would just edit the template. So for example, what I would do right now is just say I'm done. And I'm going to come out of here. It's going to take me back to the main part of command where we were before. And then let's say in 2 weeks, I know I have a listing appointment coming up. I've already gone in and edited this whole thing. So it's branded to me. It has my marketing plan. It has my information. And now it just sits here in my template, Silvernagel listing package. So I can just go make a copy of it. Oh, it's not letting me right now. Make a copy. All right, well, normally you would make a copy, but for the sake of this, I can just open this back up, and all my edits will still exist, and I can just change the pages I need to change and then print it. So there's also a buyer package in here. So if you've been thinking that you want to take some time during this COVID lockdown we're in right now, or quarantine, and edit some of this stuff, don't recreate the wheel, right? Just use what's here, because it's actually really good. And then you would just go through and edit whatever pages you needed to edit. And you can pick and choose. You don't have to use every single one of these pages. So see how they're lining up across the bottom, because those are the pages I've opened. So maybe I don't do my comparable properties in my marketing package or my listing package because I bring a different CMA. Then I just wouldn't have this page in here. I would just delete this page from my package. I don't need that one, but maybe I'm going to do this page because I really like this page, and I'm going to add that page. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, I'm going to assume that's a yes. So with that being said, when we go back again, so now let's just say that I'm going to say I'm done, and then I want to go back to command. all of my templates now are going to live under my design templates. So anything I've been working on, any postcards, my just listed is right here. I just sold I was doing last week is right there. Feature sheet template for a listing. This is an example of a feature sheet that I edited in the design center that we've actually used at listings. And it's really, really easy to use. It's the same as what I just showed you. Just open up the template and then you can play with it and edit it. They have all of this stuff in command, so we don't need to go and find all of these items anymore. And that goes for social media and that sort of stuff too. So this is what their feature sheet looks like, or one of them. There's quite a few options. I just really like the look of this one, and it was quick and it was easy to do. So I have, you know, the address and the picture of the house and some interior shots. And then if I go down here to page 2, I see the inside of the feature sheet. And this has, you know, the price and some details about the home, some text, and then some additional photos. And all of this got imported from MLS because when I started making this, I plugged in the MLS number at the beginning. So it naturally, if you go to KWLS, this is a listing. This is it the same one? Yeah. These are the pictures of this listing that we had on MLS, that we had listed. So I was able to just drag and drop these pictures and make them fit into the spots that I wanted them to fit in. So maybe I did that, right? And I changed the picture. That's all I did. I just drag and drop these images. The text, which came with it, if I go back up to the top where it says listing details, I can actually get a lot of the details from this system. So listing status, property type, MLS type, I can add all of these in here. So say I wanted to add the MLS number. I can just click on that bottom and add it here. Say I want to add in that it has a fireplace. I just click on add and it adds in that it has a fireplace, and I can add that to this list over here. And obviously you're going to fix the font size and everything. But these are all the details, and this was the actual listing description that I wrote, like the full paragraph. So that just got put into this section here. So it's the same thing. I'm not rewriting anything. I'm not recreating anything. And if you don't like it or it doesn't fit or you decide you need to remove it, you can just select it and delete it. Just like that. Yeah.
Sorry, does this create it in a booklet form, or is it just loose pages?
No, this is a booklet form. So once I finished it, I downloaded it. Like once I was done, I downloaded it. And then you're going to be careful what you click. So I did get a JPEG, but you can do PNG as well. I prefer JPEG for photos because it's best resolution, highest quality. And then I also said, what did I say? I wanted my quality, to be high, right? So I made sure that I had this all the way to the high. And then I just hit start download, and it just downloads it onto my computer. And then I can just send the file it downloads directly to my printer.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll take a second, but it'll download. There it goes there. And I can just forward this to what I did in this instance was actually I did it through Staples, and I did next day printing, and I uploaded the file, and I went by. They had it printed. It was a booklet. They folded it for me. I picked it up and dropped it off to the open house. And it was
okay,
done.
so it's already formatted for a booklet. So they'll know what the front cover is, what the inside is, and all of that.
So this is what the file, so I just opened right here. This is the file that they get. So they'll see front and back of it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and it's a 11 by 17 file size. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. And once you get comfortable with it, the first time you guys do this, you're obviously not going to click around as much as I am or as quickly as I am because you're still getting used to everything that you're clicking on, and I get that. I've been using this for a little while, so I'm a little more comfortable with it. But once you get the hang of it and you get used to what's over here on the left and how to do all of that stuff, how to bring in, import stuff from your listings, import images, import text, and all of that, it'll get really easy, and you'll realize like it probably takes me about 20, maybe 30 minutes to do those feature sheets because I already have the template built. So now I'm just editing the template every time, right? Because it's pre-made. So all my details are there. The team photo is there. The colors are edited to the team colors. Like that's all done. So now I'm just dragging and dropping. And then they also are always uploading new designs. So this is a bifold. This is another sample of a feature sheet. It's just, what's the best way to say this? Instead of opening it like a book, you're opening it like top to bottom. Does that make sense? So the fold is in half, but it's not widthways, it's lengthways. It's, I guess, vertical. There's also bifolds, if that's the same style that we use. There's booklets. And then there's Facebook, more additional Facebook posts as well. There's business basics, guys. So if you need business cards, there's a ton of business cards in here, portrait and standard, that you can just edit and then send to Vistaprint and get printed, that have all of the KW logo and branding on them. Now, they're pretty basic, but they're there. Email signatures, if you want to make an email signature and embed it in your emails. Social branding, if you want to do your banners on your Facebook page, or your, on your Facebook covers, or even, I believe, YouTube, you could probably use this. Letterheads, if you're doing paperwork. Lead generation, there's all sorts of stuff here. Client testimonials are great sources. So say you want to run a post on Instagram with a client testimonial, you can just come in here, use the design and paste in your text, and then just post it onto Instagram. Promoting your website, getting people to go there, different things. Like, we could spend hours clicking through this and looking at all the different stuff. If I click on buyer, obviously Keller Mortgage doesn't apply to us, but Neighborhood Snap is, again, giving you ideas of different neighborhood information and the stats and what's going on there. And then all of the different types of marketing, letters, door hangers, Instagram stories, Twitter posts, LinkedIn posts, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. And again, your buyer package. So same as your listing package, just, structured more to buyers. So if you wanted to build a new buyer package, you could also go through and do the same thing like we talked about for your listings. Edit this, create your template, and then you would just edit who you're making it for every time you have a buyer consultation, and then just print it, right? So it saves you a ton of time as well. Or potentially, if they're generic and you're not editing it per person, you could get a whole bunch of them printed and have them on hand, so you just grab and go. So that's another option as well. So that's what the design center is really all about. It's pretty cool. And the more time you spend in it, the easier it gets to use. Your other option is you can create your own design completely. You can make it completely from scratch if you want to. Not sure why you would. Seems like a lot of extra work to me, but you can pick what type of thing is it? Is it custom size? Is it Instagram, Twitter, door hanger, Facebook? So let's say we want to make our own Instagram post. I could open up this, and sorry, again, it'll take a second. And then I can kind of create this entire thing myself. I'm not super good with visually creating this kind of stuff, so I wouldn't really do this. But if you're more artsy or more creative, or you have a very specific look in mind, you could come in here and start to say, okay, I'm going to put a picture frame over in this bottom corner here because I want to put a picture here. Maybe I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I'm going to do another picture frame, I don't know, here. I'm going to do 2 because I've got an open house coming up I want to promote. Whatever that looks like, you can obviously scale it and size it. Then you could go back here, and then I could say, okay, I want to put in a title, so I want that to go over here, and so on and so forth. You guys get the point, right? You could make your own stuff if you want to. So that's the other option. So you would just go into, oops, I didn't mean to save that. You can just go back into the My Templates section and create a custom template as well. Any other questions about the Design Center? You guys good with that? What do you think? Would you use it? You think it looks pretty easy, or do you think you don't want to use it?
I would definitely use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
It is really good once you get the
Yeah.
hang of it, right? It does take a minute, and there are some, it's with the same with every system, there are some weird little quirks you got to figure out as you go. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite simple.
Do they add stuff like for holidays, Christmas, New Year? They'll add all those images?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so actually they had some
For for
or
Facebook and stuff like that.
yeah. Oh yeah. So under lead generation, they have holiday greetings.
Oh,
And
there
they
we go.
currently have 66. So there's New
Nice.
Year's, there's Valentine's Day, there's Christmas, there's Veterans Day,
nice.
Halloween. And then depending on which type of thing you pick, there's different ones, right? Like
Perfect.
different styles. LinkedIn obviously doesn't have a lot. Instagram stories has a bunch as well. Yeah. And then you can also obviously make your own if you wanted,
Yeah.
or if you have a design you like, but you want to just import it in and then edit it, you can do that as well. But
Yeah, it's great. It's
That's
great when you
great.
know how to use it.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? We can show you as much as possible, but unless you
You
log
have
in
to
and
do it,
actually,
otherwise,
yeah,
yeah.
you're not going to remember, right? So I can show you this 10 times over, but unless you go in and do it and click around. And the one thing I will say is great about this is you can make as many mistakes as you want. Doesn't impact anybody, doesn't impact anything. You just don't save the template, or you can delete it. It's not going to go send to anybody. It's not going to post to your Facebook or your Instagram. It doesn't do any of that, right? So you can't really do any damage. You just have to get comfortable using the system. Okay. So I'm going to go back to command. Any other questions about that? Because the only other thing I can say from here is you just got to just use it. Just start practicing.
How did you go back to command? You just clicked on the KW?
On the right-hand side, there was a little X in the
Oh.
top right-hand corner. When I was in the design center, I just clicked on that and it closes the design center and takes me
Okay.
back to command.
It's hiding right now with the video, so
With the
that's why.
videos, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
It's just on the top right-hand side. So that's using the design center. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of different options. Obviously, agent site is your website. That's a whole other class. We're not going to touch on that today. And video, same thing. But those are things you can create pages for your site within the design center if you want to. If you have something specific you want to create, it is a little harder to do with the website, which is why it's a totally different class and topic. So I'm not going to dig into that too much right now. Okay, guys? All right. So the other thing I wanted to show you quickly was campaigns. This is how we run online lead ads through Facebook or through Instagram from command. So if you guys will notice up here, I'm trying to move these pictures so they go up to the top. It's not working. Come on, there we go. So if you notice in here, what I clicked on was the campaigns, and then you can see that there's different types of campaigns. There's paid ads, there's emails, there's direct mail, and there's social posts. So you can use any of these to create different campaigns depending on what you're trying to create. I'm going to use, for the sake of this, let's say we want to create ads that run on Facebook. This is actually extremely simple to use, and I want you to realize that because it's a great tool and agents are having good results with this. And we get cheaper leads through here because KW has some sort of deal with Facebook. I don't even understand it, but we get cheaper leads. So if I go to paid ads and then I just say create a new campaign, it's just going to open up what type of campaign do I want to create. Do I want social ad, paid, so Google Drive, pay-per-click, paid, a social post, direct mail, or email? So I'm going to say I want a social ad, and then it's going to give me this option. I have to name my campaign. So I'm just going to call the coaching 2 because I already have another one. And then I'm going to say, what's my purpose? Am I advertising my listing? Am I advertising multiple listings? Am I trying to attract talent, build brand awareness? And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to attract buyers. So I'm going to select that. And then it's going to ask me, what campaign do I want to run? So I'm going to say Facebook. I don't know if I have Instagram connected, but let's try it. And then I'm going to click set up campaign. What it's going to do is take me into this campaign screen. And now in this campaign screen, I can basically build my ad and all of my text and upload my images and run a campaign within minutes. So if it was around a listing that I actually had, I could add a listing by clicking on this button and putting in the MLS number. And then see how it says show my listings? So my listing would pop up and I would just select it. If you're using someone else's listing, just select all listings and then put the MLS number in, and you'll be able to select that one and market around that one. I'm not marketing around a listing. I'm just trying to attract buyers, let's say for first-time home buyers.
Now, Jen, sorry.
Yeah, that's
now,
okay.
is in this campaign, do you need permission from the listing agent?
Yeah, you always do.
You
for
still
sure.
have to. Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna say I want to add my,
Jen, why do you call it paid campaign?
because you're gonna pay money for the campaign to run. So when we get down to the bottom, there's a budget through Facebook, so that, because the point of this, what I'm creating right now, is a campaign out on social media to a targeted demographic. So I'm trying to get leads from this.
Okay,
Right?
thanks.
Yeah. So now I could add my text. So depending on what I want to say, I could add whatever I want. Obviously, this isn't going to be super proficient right now, but let's just say I want to say, looking to buy your first home. Can't save the down payment. Have you heard of rent to own? Right? Say that's my text, hypothetical. I know it's not a masterpiece, but it'll do. Then my headline is going to be rent to own your, at least it rhymes, your first home. And then my description could be whatever I want it to be. So it could be apply today to see if you qualify. I don't know. You guys get where I'm going with this. And then obviously the description can't be misleading. It has to have proper content. It has to make sense. Okay. And then add media. So I'm going to say, so once I've done adding in all of my text, I'm just going to hit save add text, and it'll just close it up. And you can see over here, it's starting to show the text I'm plugging in. Now add media, I might go configure my add media. I don't really need the logo, the KW logo there, but I could put my own logo here if I wanted to. So let's go to Dropbox and go to pictures. And then let's go to headshots. So let's say I wanted to put my headshot in for some reason. We could do that, and it'll add it. It'll allow me to crop the image and process the image. And then I could save my ad media. Oh, it's not letting me use this photo because it's not high enough resolution apparently. So let's try that again. Let's use logos. So let's say that we did just use the KW, and just for the purposes of this, I would just select it. It would fit it in there, and then I would hit save ad media. It's going to let me. It's being really picky right now. So it is specific to the resolution because it has to fit with Facebook standards. We're going to just leave that alone. But basically, yeah, you could go through and do that. So I'm just going to skip that step. However, if you wanted to add video, if you had like a video tour of a house or a video of yourself talking or anything like that, you could select video instead and then select the video that you want to upload. Or you can use the images. Just make sure that that you have an image that the resolution and the file size is no more than 3 megabytes. Okay, so you got to pay attention to this stuff. I don't have something lined up that's going to work right this second, so that's kind of annoying. But let's see if this works. If this one doesn't work, then we leave it alone. That didn't work either. Okay. Well, the next step is, as you go, guys, you're just going to select which pages and which programs you want it to be run to. So my account is my personal account, and I want it to get posted on my Productivity Success Network page. Or I want it to get posted on my realtor page. Now I want it to be an Instagram ad, and I want it to be a Facebook lead generation form versus a site or a landing page. So what that means, just so you guys know, is that when people sign up for leads, if I use a Facebook lead generation form, it basically creates a submit form field automatically that they just plug their information into. So I prefer that because then that information just goes directly into command. The other thing you can do is direct them to a different website or a landing page that you've created. So say they want more information on a particular neighborhood or something. You could direct them to that using a site, a website, or a landing page, and then have a submit form field on that page that you link back into command. But that's a lot more work. Whereas this way, it's just automatic when they click on your ad, they sign up and you get notified right away. And then your call to action button, you can learn more, sign up now, or apply now. So maybe I say apply now because it's for rent to own. And only if I'm using this landing page do I need to have a follow-up destination site. If I'm not using that, I don't need this, so don't worry about that, okay? And then I want to set up my targeted marketing. Who am I trying to market to? Am I targeting my personal database, which in this case I'm not because I'm trying to get new leads, or am I targeting a custom audience? And if I am targeting a custom audience, who am I targeting? So I'm going to say everyone within a 10-kilometer radius. Apparently I can't go any lower than 25 of Aurora. And then I can go through and select what kind of interests do they have. Maybe I'm going to put in first-time home buyers. Maybe I'm going to put in their age range, things of that nature. So this will give you tons of different options, or I can also just type and see what populates. Sometimes they're not here as options, sometimes they are. So if they're not showing up when you put it in, just take it out. Sorry, this is running slowly. And you can also just scroll through all the different options here. And you could pick the ones that apply to you or the ones you feel they might be interested in. So who are you targeting right now? If you're targeting first-time home buyers, what type of homes are they buying, right? What age demographic are they? What's their purpose for buying? You know, what would they be interested in? What would they be following on Facebook? And you go through and you're just going to select anything that makes sense to you here that you think that would target them. And once you're done selecting, so condo would be a good one as well, right? Once you're done going through and you've collected, you're just going to save your selection. So right now it's showing me that people who've listed bungalow as an interest within 25 kilometers of Aurora is 22 million people. And 15 million people for condominium. That's a big range. You might not want a range that big. You might want to edit that or change it a little bit. So we can go back in and we can change that just by clicking here. So again, you would just go back through and you can get more and more specific. So obviously some stuff is more specific than others, but they're pretty broad categories, unfortunately. Now you could go to the real estate section. So I'm just going to scroll down. It's all alphabetical. Real estate. And take a look at what the options are here, right? Is it just real estate? I don't really want an agent directory. I don't want a broker. I don't want appraisal. I don't want investment clubs. Maybe I'm interested in real property. Maybe I'm interested in rent to own as an option, right? So then I can save those selections. And maybe I come back here and go, okay, I'm just going to target rent to own specifically because that's who my ad is for. And it makes my audience a little bit smaller, but more direct. So once I'm done, I can save. It's not going to let me because I don't have the photo in here, but normally you would just save your Facebook and Instagram ads. And then the last step is to select your budget. What do you want to spend? First of all, how long do you want it to run for? This is running for 10 days, and we're saying that my total budget for the entire campaign is $30, which means that every day I'm going to spend about $1.50 having my campaign show up, right? And then it'll basically make sure that it maintains that so I don't go over my budget. And then I can just save my duration of my budget. And now I'm pretty much done. Obviously, I don't have a photo, so you can't see it, but you can see my button. You can see the this here. You can see my page that I'm advertising it on. And the photo that you post would be here as well. And then you can just basically, once you're done, you can publish your campaign. Again, it won't let me because I don't have it here, but I would just click publish right now and it would start running my campaign on Facebook right away. And what you can do is create a bunch of different types of campaigns around different things, and obviously manage your budgets and stuff, but run one for a week or 2 weeks and see what sort of responses you get, and then change it up and run the new one and see what sort of responses you get, and figure out which ads are getting better click-throughs and you're getting more leads from, and you can start to be specifically lead generating through command as well. And then all
Jen?
of,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
No, I was
ahead.
going to say all the leads you generate will automatically go into command for you, so you're not taking them and importing them or anything like that, and you'll get notified that they're in command. So you can go on to, you can log in and call them or follow up with them and apply them to a follow-up system, a conversion campaign, right?
That was my question. So when you get notified, is it an email that you get or just
No,
Facebook notification?
it'll be through Kelle, through the Kelle app.
Oh, okay. So you have to go to Kelle or command to get these leads.
Yeah,
Correct?
so if
Okay.
you have Kelle on your phone, so most of us do, right? You would just have Kelle, the notifications turned on Kelle. So when you get a new lead, Kelle will just will pop up a notification saying new lead, and then you can just click right on that notification and it'll open, or you can log into command and you'll be able to see who was added that day, and then you
And
can follow them that way.
as far as photos, do you have to put an image in there or do you?
Yeah, because the way Facebook ads work, it requires an image. Now you could create an image that's just text, right? But you'd have to save
Okay.
it as a PNG or a JPEG and then attach it, and it would have to be the right resolution.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that's pretty much using command for campaigns. You know, it's the same thing over and over again. You're just picking what type of campaign are you building, what platform are you running it on, who are you targeting, and what's your budget. Now, obviously, you can also run campaigns that are not costly, that it's just maybe posting consistently onto your social media or something like that. You can do that as well. And you can also, if I go into, sorry, give this 1 second, but if I go into social posts, I can actually upload a whole bunch of posts and specify where I want them to go, which platform, when I want it to get posted, and then I can just schedule it here, and command will just post them out as they go. So you could pick one day a week and make a whole bunch of posts for the week and put them into, like, create them here in command under this section, and then it will post them to your social media for you. So you don't have to think about it more than once a week, other than if you were doing your live stories or something like that. So that's also an alternate you can do if you want to manage your time a little bit better when it comes to social media, or if you're not good at doing social media consistently, so you time block, you know, okay, I'm home on Sundays, so I'm going to spend a couple hours making 8 or 9 or 10 posts that are going to go up this week, and then I'm just going to stagger them and schedule them, and then they'll get mailed out. They'll get posted on your social media, and you don't have to think about it again for like another week, basically, until you have to make your next batch of posts. So that's also something you can do. Okay, so everyone good with that? Any questions? It looks easy when we're doing it this way, right? It seems simple. I'm sure when you start playing around with it, you'll have some questions. But the beauty of command is that it actually is pretty straightforward. Once you get into it and you kind of see how to do it, they've made it a pretty simple system to use, which is great. So I would highly recommend, I know a lot of agents are getting good results from these paid campaigns, even right now. They're still getting leads from them, even though, you know, we're not really lead generating. It's still something you could utilize. So that kind of helps in our current market. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before we go is just the Kelle app. So do you guys all have the Kelle app on your phone?
Yes, I have it, Jen.
Okay.
Yes, I have it too.
Yep, I have it as well.
I don't have it.
Okay, if you don't have it, you have to go to the App Store and download it. It's called Kelle, K-E-L-L-E, and it's blue with a white KW in the middle of it. Okay, once you download it, You can connect it to your KW account. You're going to use your login information for command or kw.com. And then you're going to notice if you guys open your Kelle app, you're going to see across the bottom that it's going to have a bunch of different options. So one of them is command. If you click on that, this basically gives you access to command as well. So if you're out and about door knocking or talking to people and you get a new contact, you can add them into your contacts right from the Kelle app. When you click on command, you would just select contacts and then add new. You can also use it to scroll through the contacts you have in command. So if you know you're close by someone's house and you want to pop by or do something like that, but you don't remember the address, you can open it quickly on your phone and all that information will be here. Same with insights if you're using the insights tool, which we didn't really talk about today. Also the map, if you want to see what's currently available around you in the neighborhood or see where you are, you can do that as well. And you can see what's happening in this area just by clicking search this area. Doesn't seem to be working right now. I'm just playing with, oh, there we go. So when I click search this area, I'll show you guys on my screen, all these little listings popped up on my map around my house. So those are houses that are currently on the market. So if I was out showing with clients or something and they wanted to see if there's anything else in the area, I could pop this up and I could take a look at what's currently listed around me also. And that's all data coming straight from Treb. The referrals is obviously agent to agent referrals and your task manager. So say you're out and you talk to somebody and they go, hey, I'd love for you to follow up with me and send me this information. And if you're like me, currently at least, and you know you're going to forget before you get home that you're supposed to do that, you can add it into the task manager section, which is this one here, which is down the bottom on command. And you can just say, I'm going to create a new task and I'm going to call it task title. I'm going to say when it's required by, my due date time, what it is, and if there's a link to a website or anything. And then you're just going to save it. And when you save it, it will show up in command as a task on that main page when it's due, like around the time it's due, but it'll also show up and you'll get reminders through Kelle on your app, okay? And then the other thing is when you get a lead or something, see the little bell in the top right corner? That'll notify you that a new lead has been added to the system. It'll have like a little one there.
I'll download it. It's asking for my KW name.
Yeah, it's the same as your command login.
And okay, let me see.
Okay. So the little bell will also notify you regarding your paperwork that you upload. So I know most of us have done the paperless classes, hopefully by now, or if not, you've gotten some help with that, or watch the video at the very least. But when you submit your paperwork and the office accepts it or rejects it, you actually get notified through Kelle that it's been accepted or rejected, not command. So when you have this app on your phone, make sure your notifications are turned on. So you get notified when you get a new lead and you get notified when your paperwork gets accepted or rejected. Or if you get a referral opportunity, you'll get notified of that as well. And then down across the bottom, you're going to see it also says Connect, which is the KW Connect system consumer app, which has not gotten rolled out yet. And then it says More, which is where you can update your profile and information. What are you showing me, Sam?
Does it look like this?
I can't see your phone. The glare is too bright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should look when you log into the main page. Have you logged in?
Yeah.
Okay, so you should see across the bottom, it should say Home, Command, Connect, Consumer. Do you see that? A bar across the bottom?
Yeah, I have Home, Command, Connect,
Perfect.
Consumer.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you click on the one that says Command, that's the one we were talking about the most. That gives you access into your command system. So using it on your phone, it's synced to your computer and vice versa. So if I add something in on my phone, it automatically updates on my computer and vice versa. If I add on my computer, it automatically updates on my phone. So you don't have to do things twice. So if you're out talking to people, like I said, and you add them in or you add in a task reminder, it automatically shows up in your other system as well. The more we use this stuff, the more intuitive it's going to get. But you want to make sure you're using Kelle now because of our paperless stuff, and especially if you're going to be running lead campaigns or anything like that. It only does a handful of things right now, so it's not too hard to learn. Yeah, Sabrina?
So I clicked in learn more. So I went into a property here in Aurora.
Yep.
And I want to get out. I want to go back to maps. Like, how do I exit?
So you clicked on, let me just load it up real quick. You clicked on a listing, right?
Yeah, I just clicked on the listing and said learn more, and it's giving me the description. You know, it has a garage and all of that. It's showing me the map.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I click on maps at the bottom.
So I'm just opening it. So you clicked on the little house, and then you clicked on the information, right? And then open a new screen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just give me a sec. It's just loading up. There's probably just an arrow or a close button somewhere that you can press. Would be my guess, or a back button. But let me just let it load up real quick, and then we'll be able to see. Sorry, my phone is also operating
Slow.
extra slow rate right now, so it's just spinning. Do you see anything at the top? There's a back button or an arrow or an X of any kind?
That's what I'm looking for. I don't see anything. I see active and then the address. I'm trying to see at the bottom if there's anything, but there's nothing there.
Try swiping your screen to the right. Does that work?
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, it took me back. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I think that's it. You swipe it off the screen. You just swipe right, and it'll remove the listing information and take you back to the map. Okay. So right now, guys, that's really it with Kelle. Really, the main thing is obviously having it be connected directly to command, so that you have command on you at all times. That's the point, is that you're constantly connected to your database for multiple reasons, right? But otherwise, at this particular moment in time, it's not doing that much other stuff. There is some videos on it that you can watch, and you could use insights and do things like that. But realistically, the main thing we're going to be doing is the link through command. So just make sure you have it on your phone and you have your notifications turned on, so that when you get those information, you get the notifications and you know what's going on, and you're kept up to date real time, especially if you're running paid campaigns, because when those leads come in, you have a small window of time to connect with that lead. It's like 20 minutes, right? To have a high level touch connection. So you want to make sure you're getting notified immediately, so that you can hopefully call those people back or send them an email or follow up with them, or whatever the system is that you're implementing. And I think that's really it, right? That was opportunities and design center and paid campaigns and Kelle. So any questions, guys?
Can you repeat the whole thing again?
I cannot, but I did remember to record it today.
Perfect.
So I will be posting the video on the coaching YouTube page, and I'll share the link with all of you guys.
Perfect. That's great, Jen. Thanks.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that going forward with all classes, so we can start to get a library, and you guys can refer back to what, because I know sometimes when we talk, I say scripts and stuff like that, and you guys, it's hard for you to remember what I'm saying as well. So I'm going to start recording. That's actually the best part about the webinar thing, funnily enough, is it's way easier to record this than an actual class, right?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Problem.
Thank you.
Everybody.
No problem. I'll send out a message in the next day or two about our next class and what the topic's going to be, okay?
That's
Thank
great.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.